Alrighty, so Berserk Estarossa is here, and I just wanted to make a guide on how you should sort of gear him, because he's pretty much, I mean, he's not locked to PvP only. His commandment is PvP only, unfortunately, but that's fine. It really doesn't, I don't guess it really needs to be for everything, because, I mean, it's for if the enemy attacks, they get rid of buffs. And most of the time, I don't feel like most sort of like PvE content really buff themselves for the most part. But his passive is very interesting, and it works on all game modes. But unfortunately, I mean, unless you're just planning on using him for the bird team, which I think is already pretty set. Like, I don't really think he needs to be on the bird team or the deer team. He does work pretty well for those game modes if you want to use him in it. But for me personally, I'm pretty comfortable with the teams I already use. I don't have any issues out of those, so I don't really see the point in slotting him in, because then I'll kind of need to change what I'm already using a little bit to sort of like actually get better use out of his passive. So for the most part, I would say you're basically going to be using him in mainly PvP. If you want to go for higher CC, because this is with no outfits, I don't have any of his extra costumes or anything like that. I know you can't see it or anything, but I still have all of this other stuff locked. I only have the one extra headpiece that you get from actually giving him affinity, which you get over here. So he is pretty low on CC. I have pretty decent gear on him at the moment, and I'm using attack crit damage because obviously he is a damage dealer. You want him to do as much damage as possible. But I could definitely see him being one of those characters that you might want to run with HP like crit damage or HP defense or something like that to give him more CC, which, you know, he's almost at 61k with no costumes or cosmetics or anything like that. So definitely could use some CC. I think personally I would rather run him with attack crit damage, but if you've already built a set for the older Estarossa like I have, I already had an HP defense set built for him. I guess you could just kind of swap out gear. I would say definitely if you already have an HP defense gear set, just go ahead and make an attack crit damage if you're willing to make the extra set. So that way you can kind of swap the pieces out if you want, or you can just swap to the other set if you want to do it that way. So I think that would work out very well. Unfortunately for me, my gear pieces don't actually line up right, so I would have to, because I made this set a long time ago, I won't be able to just swap these pieces, which is a bit unfortunate, but oh well. I think I would rather run him with attack crit damage anyway. We just got done messing around with him on stream and everything, and he does some insane damage, so I definitely think that being a damage dealer and running attack crit is going to be his, you know, best set as far as like actually getting good results. And you can see his crit chance is 115, and his crit damage without cosmetics, mind you, is 243%, which is insanely high. So he's going to be hitting some crazy numbers whenever he does crit, and, you know, just insane damage. So I definitely recommend you go with a more aggressive set, but obviously, like I said, the demon team in general is just, it's lacking a lot of CC. Assault Melee's missing a cosmetic. The other characters are maybe missing some cosmetics depending on who you use. We were messing around with him and Sigurd and Assault Melee and Festival Zeldris in the back. So in that lineup, the only person who's technically missing a cosmetic is Assault Mode Melee, who is missing an attack piece. He still actually has really high CC though, which this is me with an HP defense set on him just because I use him mostly for a link, but I was using him to sort of kind of build up CC with the team a little bit there. So yeah, the CC I think for the team is just super lacking. You're probably going to have to run either, you know, evasion food, or if you think in your bracket you can out CC somebody with the team, then you could go for CC food, but I would say that if you're in higher brackets and stuff like that, it's probably not likely. So definitely would recommend the attack crit. But that is pretty much it for me. I don't have anything else to say. Hopefully that was helpful and gave you the, you know, info you needed. If you have any questions or anything, leave them down in the comments. I do normally get questions on whether or not you should run certain substats. The only time I recommend messing with the substats is if the character actually benefits from that because of their passive or anything. But he doesn't have any of those weird effects or anything where it's like, oh, if he gains whatever off of this stat or whatever the case may be. So just basic substats is fine for the gear. So just regular attack, defense, and HP for substats. So nothing crazy, nothing out of the ordinary. But yeah, obviously That's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys in the next one.